Now, number 1 on your bell work. Cosine of theta equals the square root of 3 over 2. Now, cosine is in every quadrant. There's a cosine in every quadrant. Now, the cosine is the x value. On every quadrant, the cosine is the x value. Now, of course, you can't leave it without an angle on it. Now, and the value of that cosine is the square root of 3 over 2. But you see, this is a plus the square root of 3 over 2. So, in this quadrant, the cosine would be what? Well, that rules him out. You can't have that. So, now, down here, this is negative square root, that rules him out. The only two places that the cosine is positive is in the first quadrant and the fourth quadrant. You got that? Are you with me on that part? So the cosine is positive in the first and the fourth. Now, it's not a flip of the coin. They're telling you which one they want you to pick. You start here at pi. That's pi. And you go this way, you get over here, that's 2 pi. So that's where this comes into play. I want the angle to be between pi and 2 pi. You clear? Now, it has to be positive. So what quadrant is the cosine positive in? Make a dot right there. So everything is originating out of the fourth quadrant. Draw the line that joins that point to the origin. How long is that line? Now, that means 1 unit. 1 inch, 1 mile, 1 something, unit-wise. Now, draw you a right triangle. Now, I need to know what it is at the dot. What is it from the start? You start here and go all the way around. In other words, you start here and go to right there. I need to know how many marks is on that circle. So, help us out. The cosine now, is he the x or the y? So this is the x-axis right there. So that's the square root of 3 over 2. Well, we need this side. What's that one? So instead of asking you what is the angle, the length of the side opposite, what's the angle? Angle opposite 1/2. Yes. That's just reverse what we started out with. So that angle is 30 degrees. Now, it would be 30 at the angle, but we're at 360. Whoa, let's go ahead and finish it up with that. So how much is that? But I asked for radian measure, or do it? Yeah. How do you know it's radian measure? These are pi's and 2 pi's. Well, do y'all know that radian measure is pi over 6? You got that? Now it would be pi over 6 in the first quadrant. We're in the fourth quadrant. 1 less than twice. What is that? And so the answer that we really want is 11 pi over 6. You'll probably like to see another one, right? I got one ready to go. Here you go. I got about 3 of them. All right, sine of some angle is negative square root of 2 over 2. Now the sine, he's the what value? Now let me just go to the answer then. Is he going to be in the first quadrant? That's a negative square root of 2. He's not in the first one. So he's going to either be here. Well, now this is positive square root of 2 over 2. So it can't be there. This is a sign. That's negative square root of 2 over 2. That's the sign. That's the y. And you got one more spot where he's negative. You know that's over here. So help us out. Which one we want? This one in the fourth or this one in the third? They're both negative. Well, that's where the other part comes into play. It's, you don't have it on your paper. I have to put it up here. I'm sorry. It's from pi over 2 less than theta less than 3 pi over 2. Now, where is pi over 2 located? 3 pi over 2 is after. Y'all remember that from yesterday, right? So which one is it? We want to know. It's either going to be here or there. So it can't be the fourth one, right? Third quadrant. Put a dot right there. Join that dot with a center. How long is that line? Now, sine is the one up and down. So that's square root of 2. I think you can tell me what the reference angle is. Pi over 4. Now this would be pi over 4 if we're in the first one. We are in the third one. So what is the top? One less, one more, or one less than twice? So theta is what? There it is. Got it? You think so? Okay, let's see if you do. Got this one for you. Now theta now is between what and what? So here's pi, here's 2 pi. Now, this is cosine. Cosine is the x. Well, this is positive square root 3 over here. So it's not in that one, is it? So what quadrant is it in? Third quadrant. What do you do then? Put the dot. Love him to death, but he's going to sleep to death. All right, now. How long is that line? Now make your right triangle. Now this is x. That's the square root of 3 on 2 on the line. Y'all remember the x-axis, right? So this one over here is 1/2. Now, can you tell me the angle that is opposite to 1/2? In radian measure? That's 30 pi over 6. You're right. Now, at the dot, it's not pi over 6. It's going to have to be classified as one more. 7 pi over 6. Now, people? Now, what about secant? What about secant? Now, people, secant is 1 over cosine, 1 over x. But since it's not a unit circle, it's what? R over x. Okay? Cosecant. That's 1 over what? Which is 1 over what? Now, since we're not in a unit circle, R over y. That's how easy it is to learn. Now, we got to do this one. The cotangent of some angle is negative 12 over 5. Now cotangent is what over what?
X over Y.
Now, so the x-coordinate is minus 12. Now what would be the sign? Y over what? Well, what is Y? Hey, what quadrant are we in? Second quadrant. All right, in the second quadrant, who's negative?
X.
All right, we got it right. All right, now what's R? R is x squared plus y squared equal what? So you got negative 12, 5.
Probably 13, but I bet 13.
You did good. Who said 13? Who's who? 8?
I just memorized it.
Hey,
Oh, 169 squared.
what's 196?
14.
What's 225?
15.
What's 256?
16.
289.
That's not a.
What is it?
That's a.
324. 364.
400.
No, 3. No, I forgot it. 17 is 289. 18 is 324. 361. All right, so what's the y here? 5 over what? All right, what's cosine? X over r. What's x? Now, what's tangent? 5 over what? Now, there's cotangent. What's left for us? Now, do y'all remember secant is r over x? That's what? 13 over negative 12. Cosecant. All right, there it is. We'll work another one of these toward the end of the hour. Now let's start on first question on your test tomorrow. See how successful you are. Now, young people, when you change from one to the other, this is not a special angle. This is not a special angle. We're going from degree measure to radian measure. And you're going to multiply when you start changing from one measure to the other. Remember that. Now, we got a little situation. Do we want to divide degrees by radian measure or degree measure? What I'm trying to say is, you want pi over 180. Now, we're talking fractions now. We're not talking decimals. So don't change this to any decimal. So that's 195 pi over 180. Now, if you know how to use your calculator, I'd appreciate it. You go in there and tell me what it simplifies to. You got 13 pi over what? 12. 13 pi over 12. Do y'all know how to simplify it? 195, A, B, C button. 180. Now it's going to give you it as 1 and 1/12. You got to change it to 13/12. It's got to be M proper fraction. Can't be a mixed number. You do not do it in a mixed number. Clear on that? Did it give you 1 and 1/12 like I said? If you use ABC, it should. But you'd have to take over from there. And that's how you do the first one. That's your first question. You gonna get it right?
Yes.
I hope. Here's your second question. Or something like this. 9 pi over 5. Now that's a radian measure. You got to change to degree measure. Again, you're going to multiply by something. Now, here we want the pi on bottom to do what with the pi's? So we can cancel them. Now again, and you don't want to use divided by. You can go ahead and say 9 times 180. Then you go A, B, C, 5. Now I don't have the calculator looking at me, so what is it?
324.
3 over 24?
No, 324. 324.
Okay, I'm getting there. 324 degrees. Okay, that's the second question on your test. How good are you? Third question. Now the third question, I want you to tell me the coordinates. 4 pi over 3. Now I want to know the coordinates. All right? Tell me the coordinates. Now, what quadrant is he in? One more, one less, or one less? Third quadrant. Y'all get that? Put a dot. Now join that dot to the center. How long is that line? 1. Use that as your radius and draw a circle. Now, at the dot, that's 4 pi over 3. Now I want to know what is it as my reference angle. Pi over 3. Now let's make us a distance. How far up? What is the length of that side right there that's opposite the square root of pi over 3? I was saying the answer, wasn't it? All right. Well, that's that. Now put them together as coordinates. Where do you start this thing? At the origin. That's why it's called the origin. Now you start there and you go to the left. That's negative. How far did you go? 1/2. Now when you get there, you're going down. That's what? Now, how far did you go? There be. And that's the coordinates that I like for you to see. Every now and then, kind of tap his desk over there, Hunter, please. He may want to see this and he may not. All right. Well, now, young people, here's the other way. I'm going to give you the coordinates. This is the next question on your test. I'm going to give you the coordinates. Can you make that out? I want to know the measure of the angle. All right, well, make your x, y. Now, you can't go by one less, one more here. You have to look at the signs. This x is negative, and this y is positive. So if you negative for x, that means you're going left, and then positive's up. So what quadrant are you in? Now take that and join the center. How long is that line? 1. Use that as your radius. Now at the dot, do you know what it is? No. Well, you've got to know something. Well, they tell us the value of x. Now that's the square root of 3 over 2. Now people, it does say negative, but distance is absolute value. See, we want to know that. Okay. And this is 1/2. So instead of us asking, what is the length of the side opposite, what's the angle opposite? Yeah. Now that fella has a name. Do you know what he's called? Reference angle. Now tell me in radian measure what matches with. Yes, don't put the 3's together. Now, so it would be pi over 6 at the dot if we were in the first quadrant. We're in this second quadrant, which is top is what? Well, what's 1 less than 5? I mean 6. I apologize. I'm writing what I was saying. Hey, there's 2 questions. That's number 4 on your test. How you?
You want worksheet 10 tomorrow?
Huh?
Worksheet number 10 is supposed to do? You turn it in?
No, we'll get it. I want you to hang on to the study Bible. All right, now people, that's without the trig functions. Everything else now talks trig. Do y'all know all the trig functions? Do y'all know all the trig functions? Sine, cosine, what? Tangent, cotangent, secant, cosecant. All right. First one up that I have on my paper. I want to know what the cotangent of 240 degrees. Now, cotangent is what over what? Y'all remember that's cosine over what? And now that's x over y. You got it. But now our radius here now on this one is 1. This is the unit circle. Okay? That's the unit circle. You'll have the unit circle till we tell you different. All right, what quadrant is 240 in?
3.
That's 180, and that's 270. So it's in the 3rd quadrant. Draw a line that joins that dot. How long is that line? At the dot is 240. Well, then tell me my reference angle. Now, people, the reference angle is the difference between the 180 and 240. And it's either going to be 30, 45, or 60. You don't have much to choose from. 60, right? All right, and then what is then the side opposite the 60? Then what is the other? Now, so that you start here at the origin, that's negative 1/2, negative square root of 3 over 2, there's x, and there's y. So we're going to have negative 1/2 over negative square root of 3 over 2. The negatives do what? What about the 2's? So what do you have left on top? 1. What's the only thing left on bottom? Now, a lot of teachers will say, okay, leave it right there. But then when you get in those classes, you be sure to ask that teacher, do you want us to rationalize? And most of them will say yes or no. Now, that means no radical. So that's the square root of 3 over what? How many of you all can go from there to there? All right. Now, yes, sir.
How do you know it's 60, not 30?
Okay, you have to know that this is 180. And now, you're saying this. Well, I didn't point it out to you, but on that reading, you always go off the x-axis. Okay? We can't say sometimes go off the x-axis and sometimes go off the y-axis. That's confusing. Would you agree? So we always say off the x-axis. So you always remember that, can you? Always off the x-axis. How far up off the x-axis is this circle? Because it starts on the x-axis here at 0, and so if you was counting this way, then that pretty much tells you which way to go. All right, good job. Now,